Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the budget and taxation. This is part of our legislative branch unit that we're talking about here. So first thing to remember here, since we're talking about legislative branch, is that Congress is actually the ones that set the budget, not the president. You hear a lot of people criticize the president for this budgetary action or that budgetary action, but really it's Congress that does the budget setting. The president can give suggestions, but Congress is the one that sets the budget. The budget is very hard to pass. Why is it that the budget is so hard for Congress to actually pass? Well, it seems like nowadays a lot of things are hard to pass for the Congress, but the budget is particularly difficult, and here's why. You have Republicans and Democrats in Congress, and they disagree fundamentally on what the size of government should be. As you can see here. Republicans think that the size of government should be small. Democrats think the size of government should be relatively larger. Republicans think that we should cut programs that people want and reduce taxes. Alternatively, the Democrats want to keep more programs that people want to use for different reasons, and they also want to raise taxes or keep them the same, particularly raise taxes on the wealthy. Another fundamental thing that they disagree on here is that a lot of Republicans see government as not the solution to society's problems, that if we have societal problems, we should not have the government involved in fixing them. Democrats, on the other hand, think that government can be the way to solve society's problems. Two different philosophies there. Important to realize that distinction. Let's look at the budget here. This is a basic look at the budget. You have mandatory spending over here. Mandatory spending means things we have to spend money on. We've already decided to spend money on those things. That's stuff like Social Security, okay, Medicare, big entitlement programs like that. Over here you have what's called discretionary spending. Discretionary means that we have a choice whether we can spend money on it or not, and we have more freedom in there. This is interest on the debt. We owe a lot of different countries and different people money, and when you owe someone money, there's interest on that, and our interest payments are absolutely gigantic that we have to pay on the loans, stuff we've borrowed money on. So those are three main categories of the budget. Looking just at the discretionary part, that's the part we really have more freedom to kind of choose what to spend on. The biggest part here, as you can see by this image, is the military. United States defense spending is very high. We spend more than the next 10 countries combined on our defense budget. They're talking about rolling that back nowadays, but traditionally speaking, the United States spends a lot on defense for a variety of reasons. You can see everything else kind of shares the rest of the remaining budget. Stuff like education, agriculture gets a lot of, we spend a lot of money on agriculture, health, housing, government services, international affairs, science, transportation. They all kind of share the rest of it. Okay? So that's discretionary spending, and Republicans and Democrats disagree certainly on how we should deal with discretionary spending, how much we should spend on what particular thing. Important thing to kind of understand here is that everyone disagrees on what we should do about the budget, and the tendency is to be selfish about the budget, and that's what a lot of congressmen do and a lot of Americans do in general. They sort of think that the only things we should spend money on are the things that they want. If someone else wants something, then it's not important, right? But an important thing to remember here is that just because you're not using a government program personally does not mean that it's not helping someone else. People tend to really forget that a lot when it comes to budgetary politics. Also, there's this disconnect here. I kind of say occasionally that Americans are stupid. They're stupid because Americans want to keep all the programs. If you poll Americans, they say, yeah, we want to keep that program, we want to keep that program. But Americans don't want to have to pay for them. Americans always want lower taxes. So they want two things. They can't have them both. You can't keep all the programs and lower taxes. It's just not possible whatsoever. So that is the fundamental problem of budgetary politics. The solution is, of course, to compromise, to do both things, to cut programs and increase taxes. But of course, compromise has really been hard to come by this year. The least effective Congress in American history. So that's the basic introduction to the budget.